we are presently in the process of preparing for Spring Summer 2016. We are also preparing to show at the Cannes Fashion Festival in the south of France in in May, and in the middle of May and at the end of May, it's Fashion Week in Miami, Miami Fashion Week. It's a resort show. Mailing shows internationally as well, and I knew that Claudia showed at one time, but the rest, you know.
So you base your collection on the international market?
Yeah, that's where the market is. That's where my focus is. I am, don't get me wrong, I'm focusing on this market too as well, because my goal is to stand as strong as I can on my own markets and the like Trinidad and Tobago and the regional markets, but international is the way to go. Yeah, I have been doing this for a number of years now, and it's a process. You have to learn the market. You have to earn your respects on the market. Because if you recall, in 2002, I brought home the Pret-a-Porter Style Award from Miami, an international award for Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of all designers. So, and after that, just recently, in 2013, I went to Italy, where I showed on the island of Elba, and I also got a friendship award from the city. The mayor gave that award to me. Well, first I started doing Fashion Week at the Jacob Jarvis in Center in New York, and then I showed then that same show was going to California. I showed with them in California. And then I came back, I showed in Atlanta, and I just keep on doing the shows. But before that, it was a preparation. I had to prepare for the market, and in preparing for the market, I went to market, not as a designer, but I went to workshops. I went and observed different trade shows. I learned the different tariffs, the different government conditions for trading in their country. I understand their cultures. Once you need to go to design, you're going to another big country, especially a big market, you understand the cultures of that market, the traditions, what is hot for us might not be hot for them, you know. So there's so many things that one has to study to go to market. I wake every morning with my head in heaven. I'm on the job 24/0. I am always searching for I am always aware of what is around me, so that I could be inspired at any time. And creative energy is an energy that you can't tell when it will come or when it will leave. It's creative energy. You have no control over it. Sometimes it's everywhere, it's all over you, and sometimes it's somewhere. You gotta find it, you gotta look for it. But it's beautiful, and the greatest challenge for me is harnessing my creative energy, because it's like money in the bank, you know. You're taking an idea from an idea to the bank, I call it, from an idea to the bank, because from an idea to the runway, from a runway to signing on the dotted line with a buyer, or then to the bank. There's a lot of, it's a very intricate process, because from an idea, you're talking photo sessions, you're talking getting the right girl with the right look. It's very, very intricate, every step of the way. The manufacturing, the finish, the cut, make, and trim. It's very challenging, but I love it. Yeah, because marketing is everything. Presentation is everything. If I have to describe myself, a diamond.
Definitely.
Any side you throw a diamond, it glitters, right? And I've been thrown on many sides, and I never fail. So that gotta be a diamond. I've had so many best times, and so many good times, better times, best times, however you choose to call it. And I have had so many challenging times. So I just can't, I don't know which one to pinpoint. Childhood was nice. It was nice. My mother was a seamstress, and every Sunday I will go to Sunday school wearing a new pretty dress, and that made me feel really good about myself. And school was great. I drew a lot in class. I got in trouble a lot for drawing all over my books, but I couldn't stop doing it. So I guess it was all over me. It was embedded in me from a child. Most of my teachers could not understand it, and I bless God now that I see they're encouraging in schools creative energy. They're trying to harness the creative energy in children now at schools, and that is good. They couldn't understand it. They thought I was an outlaw. Stop doing that and take a book, and but they never saw who, because I don't think that they had the eye or they understood how to look at a child. But I thank God now that schools are changing and teachers are trying to understand there are two types of children, and that is great. That is very, very great, because I have a little granddaughter, Alicia, and she has a lot of toys. I don't see her playing with them. I see her, she would sit and draw pictures, design dresses, and she would sit and do that for hours, quiet. Yeah, and I look at her, and not once I will ever discourage her. Sometimes you see she taking up beads and little things and sticking them and doing stuff. So I know that somewhere there's a little genius in there. Sometimes I look at her, she's only 10 years old, and I say to myself, who are you? But there's a person in there. Yeah. Because like when my son Babatunde, when he was a kid, he was just 9 months old. And sometimes he will be playing in his milk and cereal, and he wouldn't have it, and I will go and dip my finger in it and put the milk on the table and draw. And anything I draw, he will draw. And now he's the artist that paints on my fabric. He is part of the business. So, when Baba left school, I watched Baba. I remember the morning I wake him up, I say, Baba, time for you to paint on fabric, because this is I painted on fabric. That's how I made my livelihood on the days of the drag. I started painting on fabric. And then when he became of age, I said, come on, start painting. And there he is for today. So, you may never know. You may never know. I never had a daddy, and I wish I could look my daddy in his eyes right now. Well, I will tell you what happened. One of my biggest breakthroughs when I was on the Dragon Independence Square, and Kitty Hannes passed through from the Express. She's deceased now, God rest her soul. And she passed by and she saw me designing, and she saw these lovely dresses. And she says, oh my God, look at this child in the midst of all this that is happening on the drag. Look at the lovely work this child is doing. And she went and she called David Walcott, she called Peter Blood, she called Rosemary Stone, and they all came by and they did an interview. And after that, the rest was history. everybody in Trinidad and Tobago knew who Heather was. Every day they will come by and see every day I created something beautiful. And every day they will come by to see what am I doing next. It was so amazing because at that time I was just like about 16 years old. And it was so amazing the way, how could this young girl be here creating in the midst of all this? And at that time all I had was my mother old machine and a bucket. That bucket I used to dye my fabric. I should. I've learned so many giant lessons. Which one? Which one?
There's one thing,
One of my biggest lessons that I have learned, and I yet to settle down and accept it, is that no bad breeze don't blow. My grandmother always said to me, Heather, no bad breeze don't blow. Sometimes when you think it's the end, it's just the beginning. I think the greatest life anyone could ever have is to do what you love and be able to eat and live and pay and have and pay salaries off of what you do, because you being able to employ people and it's my life, it's my love. To live your love, live your dream, and be able to make a living and a business out of it. I think it's a good life. People who come and smile in your face and pretend to be your friends, I'm afraid of wolf in sheep clothing. If you're not my friend, leave me alone.
So if you weren't doing this, what you would be doing?
Okay, what would I be doing? Oh, you know what I would be doing? I'll be doing plants, or I might be doing skin.
Taking everyone.
Yes, I'll be doing skin, and I would be doing like, I will take care of skin. I'll be grooming. In a nutshell, I'll be grooming both men and women. I recently had a OMG moment, and that was in Japan when I was showing it at the Japan Fashion Week, and I noticed everyone was standing up, and this woman was coming in, and in Japan they bow a lot, and they were bowing, paying their respects, and then the woman came straight to me, and I was hanging next to this designer that is a big designer in Japan, and she's a famous designer, and she came to meet me. Yes, she came in to meet me personally, and she congratulated me. She described my creations as a breath of fresh air, as something really fresh on the market, and she really loved it, and she took photos with me. That was a great moment. Another great moment at that showing too was when the store, Little New York, came in, and the woman said, "Let's write." She was ready to write an order. It was like, oh my God, what is this?